The Podcasting Dead is available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Make sure to subscribe for more podcasts. And while you're at it, drop us a like. If you want to help support the channel and have access to extra content, secret contests, and more, make sure to search for us on Patreon. Patreon.com/thepodcastingdead.
It's time to talk about that season 10, air quotes, finale of The Walking Dead. I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And as that intro would have suggested, we are The Podcasting Dead. Consider checking out our channel for more podcasts and consider supporting us on Patreon. But without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So we did a live stream last night, and if you were able to catch that, thank you so much for being a part of it. And normally with our live streams, they're saved to our channel, and you can go back and watch them later. But I don't know if I didn't hit the right option or what, but for some reason, I'm not seeing it on our channel, so I do apologize about that. But you've got this one, and we're pretty much going to say more or less some of the same stuff, but we have had a night to sleep on it. Mm-hmm. A little bit of sleep on it.
A little bit, yeah.
That's the only thing, man. I hate that it went so late, because when you have to get up early, it just sucks staying up that much later. But we had a good time with the live stream. And JP, now that you've slept on it, man, what are your thoughts on the season 10 finale?
I mean, I didn't think too much on it, to be honest. I mean, it's some good parts. It wasn't, it didn't knock my socks off. I'll stick with my solid 6 out of 10, gold stars or whatever. I mean, it was all right. It had some cool stuff with Daryl and company navigating through the herd and, stalking the Whisperers as Beta was looking around. I mean, there was some cool stuff. There was some stuff there to enjoy.
Well, let's start it off on a high note, and then we'll move to a low note. So let's start off naming the things that we did like about it. I agree with you. I loved the whole predator becomes prey kind of feel with Beta looking around and just knowing that his time was coming because every Whisperer around him was getting taken out. I also really loved the moments between Daryl and Judith. I really enjoyed to find out that Connie is alive.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I liked Maggie's return.
Maggie was okay.
Though that high point is going to be countered by a low point here in a little bit. I enjoyed seeing Maggie come back, even though she didn't acknowledge RJ at all.
Yeah, man. Yeah, poor little RJ.
Judith's like, Aunt Maggie! RJ's like, just happy to be here.
Yeah.
Let's see other high points. I loved the point when they had the music playing. That was awesome. I just loved how it flashed over and then that, funky beats playing and they're walking down the street leading the horde away. That was awesome. I'm sure, too, when the Whisperers overtook the wagon and started beating those speakers, don't lie. A few of you, understood that feeling because we've all got that friend when they take over the speaker or the playlist when you're all hanging out. You just want to beat the speaker to death, so I can understand that. Father Gabriel had a really badass moment, which, again, high note that's going to coincide with a low note here in a bit. Loved his high note. I loved, the fact that when the Commonwealth soldiers came out, their outfits were, like, spot on with the comics, man. Almost to the point of looking comical.
Yeah.
I mean, it almost looked like a bunch of nerds pretending to be stormtroopers coming out of those... coming around those train cars. Mm-hmm. But props for trying to keep it as faithful to the comic in that regard as you could. Still don't know who the masked man is or woman, but I assume we're probably not going to know who they are anyway. I'm getting like a Black Noir kind of feel from them. Because, in The Boys, Black Noir is like this badass, but he never speaks.
Yeah, I could see that.
I like the look Aaron gave him when they busted in and saved Gabriel. Just kind of like that guy. Okay.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed that. Beatrice died, and I didn't really care about her that much. Wondering where Cindy is.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, there are high notes, and I want to make sure I hit as many of them as I can. I mean, again, another high point that's going to be countered by a low point. Beta's death was badass. I mean, it was too short, and that's why I'm going to be dogging it here in a bit. But, I mean, the way in which he was taken out was badass, man. 2 knives through the eyes, and then I love the whole kind of just him to go be with the walkers, kind of,
Even though he'll probably just be ripped to pieces and just be a head out there in the field, But I
enjoyed that. I thought that was really cool. I like the moment between Negan and Lydia where, he tells her to, just go, be out there. And she says, I told you I'm no hero. Yeah. Anything to add that I'm not thinking about? As far as the high notes, and then we'll get into the things we didn't like.
Yeah, I think that rounds it out pretty well. I think you hit the high points.
I'm just trying to think. Is there? Because as many grievances as I have with this episode, I enjoyed it. And another grievance that we're going to get into. It's like I'm happy that no one major died, but I'm also kind of sad that no one major died. I kind of miss the days when it was like Game of Thrones-ish, and at any episode, one of your favorite characters could be gone.
Yeah, man, I'll admit it wasn't a very impactful episode, to be honest. I was just kind of like, well, that was all right.
Princess was an absolute delight, despite of how short of a time we had her on screen. I love when she told Eugene, man, you just really want to get laid, don't you?
Right.
It was great. And, I like that we're getting the Commonwealth story arc. And I'm trying to get all the good stuff out the way. Because this isn't, this podcast, we're not, we love The Walking Dead. And it's just like having a good friend. A good friend will tell you when you mess up and tell you what you need to hear. So even though we're going to get into some of the negative things, if you're new to the channel, don't think we hate the show, because we absolutely love it, which is why we're still podcasting and stayed up super late last night. Yeah. We just don't mind calling out the things that we don't like. And you may disagree. And despite the way that, modern, what's the word I'm looking for? Despite the way things are now, people can disagree on things and still be cool. I'm trying to think, man, any other positives before we get into the negatives?
No, man, I think we rounded out pretty good.
It was cool seeing them like sniping the Whisperers with arrows.
Yeah, that was awesome.
All right, so, and I'm sure we'll think of something positive later, but now onto the cons, so the negatives. Father Gabriel totally should have died. And that is not I don't like Father Gabriel or I don't like the actor. Quite the contrary. That's why he should have died, because it would have been a bittersweet, sad send-off. And because, think about his character. He started off a low-life coward who locked a bunch of people out of church because he was too scared to do anything. People had to fight for him. And then he was kind of a whiny traitor. And then he realized the error of his ways and worked super hard to be a better man. It just would have been a great close to his chapter. He gives everybody time to get out. He goes down doing the opposite of what he started off doing. He actually is fighting and taking out Whisperers, but then he goes out like a champ. I would have liked for Maggie and them maybe to have gotten there just a little bit too late. Like, Gabriel gets, and he could have had a moment to say goodbye, but Gabriel gets stabbed and shanked a couple of times. And then that's when Maggie and her crew roll in and save the day in a sense. But then Father Gabriel eventually dies. I felt like that was a good send off for him. I wouldn't have been mad that it wasn't following the comics.
Yeah, dude, he really could have had like a Herschel moment, left us with a scene that was just as like, oh my God, like when Herschel got the sword.
Oh yeah, just have Father Gabriel get chunked in the gut. But he took out a few of them. He shot one. He was fighting. He went. It's a good close to his chapter. Mm-hmm. His character arc for me, if he would have died there, would have been perfectly complete. And again, I would miss him on the show because I've said in the last few seasons I like Father Gabriel. Like when I think about character development. He's a great example of like good character development. It's felt natural. It wasn't rushed. Sometimes we've had Daryl go from we need to save people to we ain't saving people in a matter of an episode.
Right.
With Father Gabriel, there was this, it's been seasons in the making. We've watched him go from coward to hero, to brave hero that we can get behind. At one point I wanted him to die. Which I guess I kind of wanted him to die now, but I wanted him to die for very different reasons. I wanted him to die because he was a traitor and a little whiny bitch. Now I wanted him to die because he would have died a hero's death.
Yeah, man, I guess part of it's just they want to have at least a core group of key characters going into this last season,
Another positive was that Luke didn't die, and in addition to that, another positive is that I am glad we got to see more of Luke. Luke is a character I've been saying for a long time is underutilized. He's a great character. He's very likable. He's funny. He's smart. He's got a lot of contributing factors. He's got a lot to offer the show, and I'm glad we got to spend more time with him last night.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
It's funny, though. He was kind of chunky while they were on the road, and I don't mean, I'm not fat shaming by any means, but he was a heftier, kind of, he wasn't fat, but he was a bigger guy when they were first found and on the road. But now that he's in civilization, he's lost a crap ton of weight.
Yeah, well, he's got more time for Pilates.
He's eating better.
Right.
Which I'm sure it has more to do with, roles he's taken outside The Walking Dead and things like that.
Yeah.
But I was saying that last night. I was like, it is funny because he looks great. He's lost a lot of weight, but it's like, wouldn't you think in the apocalypse it'd be the opposite? You'd be, terribly emaciated, out on the road, but then you finally get to society and you plump up a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, I thought Father G should have died right there, and it's nothing I'm holding against him for not killing him. I just felt like that would have been a great close to the chapter of Gabriel, from coward who would throw other people in the line of fire to save his own neck, to dying as a guy who was willing to sacrifice himself to save others. Beautiful.
Oh yeah.
But so I feel like they missed the chance to make that great. Now he'll probably die in some stupid way like Carl did.
Yeah,
he'll step outside and go to smell a flower, and a zombie will pop out the flower and bite him.
You gotta watch out for those flower zombies, man. They're more prevalent than you might think.
It's a bee zombie.
Yeah.
But also my biggest gripe with the episode, and I talked about it a lot last night. I'm sure everyone got tired of hearing about it, but damn it, I am not happy with the Beta death. It was a gnarly death, and I like the death itself, but my God, how long have we sat here for the last season or two? We've been saying we cannot wait for that Negan Beta brawl, man. It was such a cool scene in the comics, and I did not expect Negan to kill Beta. I think some people thought that's what I was going at last night. I was not thinking Negan was going to be the one to take Beta out. I just wanted to see a brawl.
Yeah.
I definitely figured someone and what's bad is, honestly, a lot of people were saying that Aaron should have got that kill, because in the comics, spoilers, but it's Aaron that kills him. Jesus and Beta get into a tangle. Jesus starts getting, his ass. Well, I'm not going to say he gets ass kicked, but Beta's a lot bigger than Jesus. Yeah. And Aaron comes up and kind of pulls a Daryl, except for he shoots him. But, he saves the day. I really wished, I just get tired of great character moments given to Daryl. That's happened throughout the show. These character roles or moments are given to Daryl because, God forbid, we start having other characters maybe rivaling him as far as popularity. It's that was my biggest gripe. And I love Daryl now, and it was a sick kill, but I really am just more mad. I'm not even so much mad about the Aaron not killing him. I still think Aaron should have been the one to do it, and especially Aaron and Negan had that moment earlier in the season where they crossed paths, and you don't really know exactly how Aaron feels, about Negan. But it's when Negan said, "Hey, shithead," I sat up. We had people over. I was like, here we go. And then no sooner than go came out of my mouth, Beta's dead.
Sure.
And I'm like, what? Negan and Beta should have fought a little bit. When he said, "Hey, shithead," he should have hit him in the face with a baseball bat. And, because in the comics, again, spoilers, but Lucille breaks against the back of Beta. Mm-hmm. And that would have been a great moment. He hits him, gets 2 or 3 licks in, then he swings one good time, and Lucille breaks. And then Negan's just what the heck, whatever. And that's when Beta could get the upper hand. And then right as Beta's getting ready to kill Negan, that's when, I guess, Dare Bear would swing in and save him, because God forbid Daryl has to get all the cool moments of the show now. But, I just wanted a little bit. I wasn't upset with the end result. I just wish it could have played out a little bit longer.
Yeah, man, they should add a straight up, fight with Negan and Beta. So that was another place they dropped the ball.
It could have been a really cool fight scene where they're throwing zombies at each other and they're having to dodge zombies in addition to fight each other. And again, Negan in the comics was this big, stout guy who really was a challenge for Beta, because Negan was a muscular, beefy bastard. Whereas in the show, I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan, but he kind of skinny.
Yeah,
so, I didn't expect him to go in here and beat the hell out of Beta, but we've seen that Negan can fight.
Yeah.
So I expected him to get a few good licks in before Beta ultimately is getting the advantage on him, and then someone like Daryl or Aaron runs up and saves him. And we didn't even get that, though. He just hey, shithead, and then, oh, shit, he's about to kill me. Thanks, Daryl. So that was a big, big complaint of mine. It felt rushed.
Yeah, it totally rushed. I don't. That should have been like the cherry on top in this episode. That should have been like the focal point.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Beta's been a huge character, both literally and figuratively speaking, for the last season or two. So he definitely deserved a better send off. Well, actually, the last season and a half, I guess. But I mean, like I would have loved a fight where they slowly kill him. Like Negan's fighting Beta and. As Beta gets the advantage, Daryl runs up and he stabs him, but it's not instantly a fatal kill. And then he turns around and he's kind of fighting between Negan and Daryl. Just this epic kind of, he's a beast. He's a monster. He's hard to kill. So I would like for it to have taken the combined efforts of Negan and Daryl to kill Beta. Then he could have that awesome scene where he dies. And, I don't know. I just felt like we should have had more from the last Beta.
Yeah.
Fight. That was my biggest complaint and why the score of the episode went down for me.
Oh, yeah, dude. That was a letdown all the way around. I mean, it was cool seeing him get the daggers to the eyes and everything. And
if that was the end result, I would have been fine. But,
yeah,
I still, if I was writing it, man, I would have, and it don't have to be just by the comics, but you can find cool new ways. Because in the comics, it was Jesus and Aaron fighting him. Where they ended up taking him out. I mean, I would have definitely loved for the comic readers to have Aaron be the one to finish Beta off real quick. I mean, I don't know. And I love Daryl. Don't get it twisted. I'm definitely not. I was a Daryl hater at once. I like him now, but I do kind of get tired of characters not getting their moments. Like, again, I referenced Tyrese and is one of the biggest ones. Tyrese in the comics, one of my favorite characters from the comics. Tyrese in the show, I really like, I think his name's Chad Coleman that plays him. I really like the actor, and I liked him, but not in the same way that I like the Tyrese from the comics. And the writers said they kind of shifted Tyrese's position so that Daryl could maintain that right-hand spot, Rick's number one guy. And then Abraham was like Rick's number one guy. They had beef when he first showed up in the comics, and then they settled everything, and Abraham was like Rick's muscle, like Rick's, right-hand man. He even says after Abraham dies, Rick says, God, I wish Abraham was still here. And nope, we got a great Abraham, but a lot of missed moments so that Dare Bear could squeeze up in there and get his moment in the sun.
Yeah,
like Daryl's popular, man. He doesn't have to get all the like you compared it last night. It really felt like rewatching the Night King's death.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. Just all that build up for not.
And if you're not a Game of Thrones fan, allow me to take about 30 seconds to explain why everyone was disappointed about that. So this entire show, you got this character named Jon Snow. Jon Snow, is this... Well, we don't even need to go background of his character. Just his name is Jon Snow. So Jon Snow ends up clashing with these things called the White Walkers, which are like ice zombies on steroids. They run, they fight, and if you die, you come... If they kill you, you come back as one of them. So Jon Snow has these constant run-ins with the White Walkers, and he and the Night King have these epic stare downs, like where, one of them, John's on a boat floating away, and the Night King is, standing on the shore after a big battle where they didn't specifically fight them two, but they were fighting, and then he's giving him this epic stare down, and he raises his hand, and all of the dead people come back to life, and just, this epic Jon Snow Night King battle is going down. Like, Jon Snow is a great fighter, but the Night King is the Night King. And this is taking more than 30 seconds, I'm aware. But basically, you knew all along that this Jon Snow, I mean, they could not have been more obvious in their teasing. Like, you're going to get this badass Jon Snow Night King showdown. Do you know what happens when Jon Snow and the Night King are actually on the same battlefield again? Jon Snow's little sister runs over and kills the Night King. Jon Snow and the Night King don't even lock swords. I mean, other than fighting a little bit on the dragons, they don't even hardly see each other. Like... What the hell?
Yeah.
I mean, you could have definitely had the same situation where Jon Snow's fighting the Night King, and it's a good fight, but alas, the Night King is too strong for him, and right as the Night King is going to finish him off, Arya comes up behind him and saves him. We'd have been like, yeah, that's awesome, because Arya's story led to her being a badass ninja assassin, but so this felt a lot like that. It's like you just got all this build up, and then... Another one goes to Daryl.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. But anyways, I know I've been on that for a while. But I mean, this is kind of a podcast where we get off our chest what's on our mind.
Sometimes, yeah.
But alas, kudos to Ryan Hurst for playing an awesome Beta. Beta was probably, I'm not going to lie, like looking at it other than maybe Negan, I really think Beta was the character I was most excited to see come to screen one day. Like, because I mean, who they're going to get to play him? I mean, he's just such a big badass character, and I think Ryan Hurst did a fantastic job as Beta. Hate to see him go, but he'll definitely hold a spot in my like villain Hall of Fame.
Yeah, same here, man. Just awesome performance, great page to screen, kind of thing. It was, good.
If I were writing Beta's death, you know how it would have happened?
How would it?
As they start delivering fatal blows, like he'd be fighting kind of back and forth with Daryl and Negan, and as like Daryl sinks his knife into his stomach and then, don't kill him instantly, but of course it's leading to his death. And like I would have had the walkers start, the Guardians, I would have had his walkers, like he starts hearing them taunt him for like failing as he's getting like knife goes to the stomach and you hear a whisperer say failure, or he pulls it out and then he's like, no. And, just starts getting, but slowly these voices that he thinks have been cheering him on and leading him start turning against him, and as he gets that final blow, he would have opened up and it'd almost be like, I would have done something, with the voices to his death. But also, talking about the voices, how dope was it showing like the two-sided, like you saw like what he was seeing in his mind versus reality? Yeah,
that was really cool too.
Really good cinematography there, like really, really cool looking scene.
Oh yeah, man. Like I said, there's a lot of things to really love about this episode. It's just, it was still, like I said, it just didn't leave me with that feeling at the end, like, man,
I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah.
But again, I am super excited that Connie's back because I was so scared she was going to get that Heath treatment. I was scared that she was just going to, she had been cast in something else. And I was like, oh, man, she's just going to fade away from the show. Like, how about we do this? When you start signing these actors to these shows, maybe even if you have to pay them some more money, like make them be locked down for a set amount of time so that you don't have to keep having characters just disappear. But alas, she's back. I mean, think about the implications of her being back. I mean, half of Carol's trauma that she's going through right now, half of her regret, and the reason why she was almost willing to just step off that cliff is because her actions led to what she thinks is Connie's death. Mm-hmm. I mean, how do you think that that's going to lift a weight off of her shoulders to see Connie alive?
Oh, absolutely, man. Get the band all back together.
I wonder how she's going to beat her. I mean, it will be one of those things where she's going to be like hesitant to be around her. And how is Connie going to feel about Carol?
God, that's true.
I mean, she's been through hell, it looks like. I mean, she looks like a walker. Hell, Andrea would have shot her back in season 2.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she was straight up, not having a good time. So, I mean, it might be we go back and Carol's just so relieved, but now we've got another reason for Carol to be sad because Connie won't forgive her.
Yeah.
Which I feel like Connie would. I feel like it's Connie's character to forgive her and understand. But Daryl, how's Daryl going to feel that his possible future main squeeze is back on the scene?
I definitely need to give her a good bath. That'd be the first thing.
I hope they don't send her off with this guy that, drugged Michonne and all of that. And then we have these separate, we want to see them reunited. Like, if you're going to take her away from the group, at least let us get through. I mean, Kelly, think about her sister. Her sister said to Carol when they were in that car, like, she's not dead. I know she's not dead. And I feel like Carol understood why she would. I think Carol just took that as optimism.
Yeah. Like
refusing to accept, like, your sister's dead. Mm-hmm. And alas, she's not. But so I'm glad to see Connie back. I love that it said The Walking Dead returns early 2021. So we'll be getting 6 more episodes for the season.
That's exciting. I hope the episodes are equally as exciting.
I've ran my mouth enough. Now I want to get your opinion. So going forward, all right, how do you think this is going to transition for the Commonwealth? Because think about it. With the Commonwealth, you don't have enemies in the same regard that you have enemies. How are they going to keep the show... again, air quotes, action-packed, and I don't necessarily mean with action necessarily, but how do you think it's going to play out? I mean, do you think that they might create a villain to go between this and the Commonwealth?
God, that's tough. I don't know if they're going to have like a shadowy antagonist, I mean, there could be something between Alexandria and the Commonwealth as, I guess, people start making their way there. I don't know, but I definitely think the juxtaposition or whatever is going to be just this class struggle and them getting all wrapped up in that. And
Do you think that we are going to see Georgie again?
I hope so. I hope we see her little Elton John looking tail.
Play us a song. You're a piano. No, is that Billy Joel? Damn it!
Either way,
they used to do so. They used to be really good friends. Sometimes
they
I get
used to tour together. Yeah,
they both play piano. So I get them twisted up sometimes. As if Gabriel would have died in the way that I said he should have, Georgie could have been outside playing "Candle in the Wind" on the piano.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Again, RJ, man, we only saw him for a little bit. Like, if I'm going to care about this kid as Rick's son, I need more screen time with RJ.
Yeah.
I mean, don't make it feel like a Disney Channel special here, but I need more RJ on screen. It's funny because if you remember when I was about to call her Sophia, when Judith first came on the scene, like, grown up 10-year-old Judith or however old she is. Like, I wasn't that big a fan of her just because, and it wasn't her acting, it was more the lines they wrote for her were very, very, this is home. Hi, I'm Judith. Welcome to the Disney Channel. But as they've gone on, I've really come to like Judith. That little girl is a hell of an actress.
She really is, man.
Like, she's got a bright future ahead of her. She can act her little butt off. The crying scene with I mean, she just nailed it, man. Such a good, and I care about Judith now. So it's okay if we start getting a little more time with RJ.
Yeah, I like her better than I did Carl at that age, to be honest.
Oh, absolutely. I was like straight up rooting for Carl to be killed off back in like season 3.
Yeah, I mean, Carl acted like a little girl, but she's actually a little girl that acts really well.
She does, yeah, absolutely. Man, I like Judith. I thought she really nailed it, man. I love the bond between her and Daryl because you got to think about it from like Daryl's perspective up until, and that's another thing. Daryl now knows there's a possibility that Rick's alive. Mm-hmm. He's now found out why Michonne has left, and I like that they said, because of course Judith didn't tell him, and I think Judith was afraid that he would leave her too. I mean, her dad's left. Now her mom's gone. I think that Judith was really scared to tell Daryl because she was worried that he would up and leave her to go find her dad. But I like that it was said that she wouldn't have gone if she didn't know you were still. Because he said, I wish she'd have told me. I'd have went with her. And they were like, I don't think she would have went if she didn't know you were here.
Yeah.
But love the relationship between Daryl and Judith. From that position, Rick is someone that was like his brother, even though the last season or two they got into several fist fights. Mm-hmm. And he's kind of gone. Whether you want to place blame or not, I still say it's partly Daryl's fault that Rick's gone. Had he have not led him astray and done all that stupid crap with Maggie, they would have ended up in Alexandria and things would have been a lot different.
Yep.
But, from Daryl's perspective, that's your brother. That's someone that you love, and this is his daughter. This is a piece of him left, even though it's really a piece of Shane. But nonetheless, It's still kind of a piece of him that's still here with you. And I absolutely will say that I loved, and I didn't choke up, but, man, I almost did, because I loved the scene with her and Daryl the episode before where Daryl explains to her that, the people that it's okay to be upset about the people that you lose or people that, that are gone. But that doesn't mean that everything ahead is going to break your heart. Mm-hmm. Like, I thought that was really well written. I thought Norman Reedus really just nailed that. The chemistry between him and Judith in that scene was great. Like, I really want to be like, thanks, Uncle Daryl. But yeah, no. So now Daryl knows that Rick may be alive, and then we're gonna also. There's also going to be a World Beyond review on here, so be looking for that. Even though it's probably going to be a lot shorter of a podcast than this.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it at
all. Neither one
of
us were very impressed with it, but I have my theory on why it was so boring, and I'm being hopeful. I think JP is just mentally like, oh great, another boring spinoff.
Yeah,
but I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, and we'll talk about that on the World Beyond review. But as far as this one, man, honestly I feel bad for complaining because I'm glad we have The Walking Dead back.
Oh yeah.
But also, you had a lot of time to work on this. I mean, couldn't you have just made Beta scene? I mean, it really felt like I was just waiting for Daryl to be like, Negan, we got to go. I was going to let you fight him, but the coronavirus is out there. We ain't got much time.
Yeah.
Put on your mask.
Yeah, man. I felt it was a pretty strong season, and they kind of flubbed the finale a little bit.
I think we felt like that twice. I think I specifically remember twice this season we've been, we've loved the season thus far and thought it was a solid season, except for I remember there being one more episode that we were really excited for that we kind of were like disappointed, but I can't remember which one it was.
The mid-season finale where they just fall into the cave. I thought that
might be it. Maybe The Walking Dead sometimes is not its strongest during finales. They're really good at build-up. I mean, it's kind of like Marvel Comics, honestly, and JP probably disagrees with this, but the main reason I'm not really following Marvel Comics right now, and I know they have a ton of different writers, and it's not necessarily Marvel's fault, but I feel like there's some executive up there. They do these really great intro to stories, and then they have really good build-up that just sucks you in, like, man, this is great. And then by the end of it, it's just the most cliche kind of dumb ending they could have possibly done, and you're just left feeling like lackluster. You're just like, wow, man, what a great build-up for such a crappy, predictable ending. Except for the War of the Realms, which I thought started off really boring and then had a badass ending. That was like the exception. Jason Aaron wrote that, right?
Yeah, and if you're not on a Donny Cates Thor right now, that's probably my favorite thing I'm reading. That's been really dope. But
The Walking Dead's kind of like that. We've said time and time again, like I always go back to the season 3 finale because that is one of the biggest disappointments I've ever had in a Walking Dead episode. I mean, I know I've said the Daryl and Beth episode with the moonshine and all of that kind of bored me, but I mean, the season 3 finale just made absolutely no sense. Like, you're at war with this guy. He's killed some of your people. You've killed some of his people. I mean, Jesus Christ. If nothing else, just try to kill the governor. Like, I do not understand the whole, Terminus thing of, at least when Terminus did it, they were trying to corral you into a train car so they could eat you. I mean, they were just like, all right, the governor's coming. He's a bad guy. He's killed everyone we love. He killed Andrea. It hurts my voice to do that. All of that. We're going to have him trapped in the prison and dead to rights. And we're going to teach him a lesson. Like, we're going to run. I mean, what did you think? He was going to rehabilitate him? I think they knew they were hoping the reaction from the people was going to be what they got, which was, we're not going back in there. Screw that. They can have the prison. But I don't think they anticipated the governor. But I mean, it's stupid. They should have just killed the governor.
Yeah.
For plot reasons, I understand not killing him. But at the same time, realistically, come on, man. At this point, Rick would have killed him. I just don't see Michonne being okay with scaring him off.
Yeah.
But, but the Walking Dead doesn't always have the strongest finales. I mean, remember the season 6 finale? It was a fantastic episode until somebody in the writing room was like, and then, bam, we leave them on a cliffhanger for 7 months and they don't know who got the bat. Yeah. It's a who killed JR all over again.
Right. Who shot Mr. Burns. Yeah. It was just not very good.
So sometimes they're not the best at finales. Now, The Walking Dead season 4 mid-season finale, that was good. Now, that was the governor's final assault on the prison.
Okay,
that was still one of my all-time favorite episodes.
Yeah, no, that was all right.
The mid-season finale with Sophia, fantastic. I just remember being like the breath knocked out of you when she stumbled out of that barn. But, I mean, sometimes The Walking Dead struggles to kind of close a chapter.
It does.
But yeah, so but that's only twice, and we got 6 more episodes this season.
Yeah, man. So we'll go into it with some optimism and see what they give us.
And again, please, if you're new to the channel, or even if you've been listening for a while, don't think when we complain about things on the show that we're like, just hating on the show. I mean, I'm still going to watch it till the very end. I absolutely love it, but I don't mind calling it out the times where it does stuff I don't agree with.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also, that's why these people are paid writers and I'm not. So maybe my ideas are just garbage.
Yeah, there is that.
I still, man. Beta and Gabriel, my 2 biggest beefs. Gabriel should have died. And then Beta and Negan should have had a little bit longer of a fight.
Agreed.
I mean, some funny one-liners from Negan.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I think you're mad because I got with the boss lady. Just something. I mean, he could have just thrown something out there. I will say, too, before we close this out, another good writing point. Because I have noticed in the last season or 2, despite some of the shortcomings, some of the writing is actually phenomenal. Like, let's take Lydia and Negan's interaction with the episode before this one. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's genius. Like, I think, like her point to Negan is, her mom's dead. Negan feels bad because he's the one that killed her mom and thinks she's mad about that. But then, she's like, I want to hate her, and you're trying to take that from me, too. That's really good writing. Like, that makes perfect sense. Like, her way of dealing with it is to know her mother was terrible. She deserved to die. And yes, she's sad she lost her mom, but at the same time, and then here's Negan basically calling her mom a pretty cool person, and he hated to do it because he liked a lot of things about her. And it's like, screw you. The way I'm dealing with this grief is to remind myself of how terrible she was. And then you're trying to take that from me too.
Yeah, I am enjoying the dynamic with Negan and Lydia.
And may I just say, the young lady that plays Lydia, what an awesome actress, dude.
Oh, phenomenal.
She is like, I dare say, I think of the cast now, I think she's one of the best actors on the show. I mean, she's fantastic. She plays that role so freaking well.
Yeah.
She's very likable. Like, I like Lydia. I'm excited to see where she goes. And I love when Lydia told Carol, like, I'm not looking for a new mom. And it's like, well, you're in luck because Carol is not very good with children.
Yeah.
Carol has a habit of, losing her kids or shooting them in the head.
Yeah.
My girlfriend works at a pediatrics office, and she told me that one of the nurses there, when they're like, gonna, like they have to, I don't know if they have to get the kid on a scale, but the kid has to look this way. And there are flowers on the wall, and said the girl's never watched the nurse has never seen The Walking Dead, but she'll say, all right, now, honey, look at the flowers. And my girlfriend said she wants to be like, no, don't do it. They've got the flu. Don't kill them.
Yeah.
But leave us your thoughts below. I mean, if there's any grievances that we had that you think we're wrong about, man, tell us why they made the right choice. Tell us why killing Beta off so quickly was necessary, or why keeping Father G alive was necessary. And again, before you go to the comments, though, please remember that I'm saying I like Father Gabriel. I didn't want him to die because I dislike him. I wanted him to die because it would have been a great close to his chapter. But let us know if we're wrong, why, and let us know what you loved about the episode, because we're all Walking Dead fans here, so we would love to hear the things that you liked about it.
Yeah. Well, give us your honest feedback, whatever that may be.
And we got to rate the episode, which we did last night, but so you're sticking with your rating?
I'm sticking with 6, yeah.
I'm going to give it 7. But not terrible by any means. I mean, in fact, it was actually good. It just was not as good as it could have been.
No.
Which is we also understand. I mean, you can think that about almost every show. Except The Boys. Everywhere I've wanted it to be good, it's been better.
Yeah, there's some, man. Like I've loved the hell out of just start to finish Cobra Kai, man. I thought that was pretty badass.
The ending was a little divisive, but I feel like Breaking Bad was one of those shows too. Like I can't really think of any episodes where I'm like, they should have done this. It's like, no, It was pretty solid from the beginning all the way up to the end, unless you were one of those that just did not like the ending. But other than that, I thought it was, so some shows do that, but alas, when you got 16 episodes a season and you're on season 10, you're bound to have a few things you do that people aren't going to like. Perfectly forgivable. And Walking Dead writing staff, we love you.
Yeah, well, The Walking Dead just turned into such a cash cow, I think that's what hurt it more than anything.
I really need to get like the premiere. If you can watch it commercial free on the premiere, I might actually pay for that service, because I am getting so tired of like 2 minutes of Walking Dead, 5 minutes of commercial. Like, Jesus Christ.
During The World Beyond, I was happy to have the break.
You were like, great, I need to go do something other than this. Oh, but check out our World Beyond review. It'll be on the channel now, I think, as a matter of fact. If not, it's loading as you're hearing this, and it'll be up soon. So we'll see you soon. Probably going to try and throw out a Walking Dead What If on Friday, but no promises. It just depends on how the week goes. But we'll see patrons tomorrow on the Patreon exclusive podcast, and the rest of you will see you back here on Wednesday for Weird Wednesday. I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And we are the Podcasting Dead. Give me your Victor Strand voice. Sign off with Victor Strand.
Oh, God, I wish I could. I'd like to sign off on him. Just deliver him right to my house.
Thanks to everybody for listening. Now, if you will forgive me, I have to go teach JP a thing or two.
Hello.